Hey everybody, this is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and today I'm going to do a review for The Last of Us. Now, when I thought about doing this review, because I just beat it last night, because obviously I played it a little later, I played it because you guys actually suggested it, and I did like it. I liked it a lot. Um, Earlier when I was thinking about doing the review, I was like, I'm going to show the first cutscene when I do the review. I'm not going to do that, because I think that everything in this game should be experienced by the player. This is an awesome game when it comes to story, cutscene, pretty much everything all around it. Now, as for it being my game of the year, um, it's definitely like there. You know what I mean? Obviously, let's see what else comes out this year, but it did. It's hard because I'm hyped about it because I just beat it last night and the ending was mwah. The only thing I'll say about it is that Joel, you are a grimy motherfucker. You're a grimy asshole. Um, this game was awesome, and I really don't even want to get into showing you anything because I really do feel like it should be played by the person. As far as gameplay goes, I was a lot more critical on this game than I was on Tomb Raider, and that's because I bought Tomb Raider on a whim. They're both amazing games. I bought Tomb Raider on a whim, and I don't like the other Tomb Raiders, so I didn't think I would like that game, and it just snuck up and surprised me. This game had a lot of hype behind it from you guys towards me, so I was real nitpicky about it when I started playing it. So I do have certain issues with it. Right off in the beginning, it's the beginning video, so I'll give that spoiler away just as the beginning video. Um, I'm speaking as a parent. When his daughter is shot in the beginning and she dies, I would have blown my head off. I would have taken the gun from Tommy. I would have blown my head off. So there wouldn't actually be a Last of Us story if I was the parent involved in that. Obviously, that goes and extends into what happened in the ending, and it's understandable from that standpoint. But I remember when I told Dan, because I'm not going to be able to play multiplayer with you guys for like a week or so, because I'm going to let Dan borrow this and let him play the single player, because I told him, you got to play it. It's an amazing game. But even Dan said it. Dan was like, if it was my kids in that beginning video, boom, would have blown his head off too. And that's just from a parental standpoint. However, obviously it's not realistic. It's not realistic. It's a video game, but it had some awesome cutscenes. It had an awesome story. I like the dynamic between Ellie and Joel. I like the dynamic between all the characters. Joel and Tess. Everything about this game was great. All the characters you met were great. The Sam shit was sad. And it was cool because, I live in Hartford County. And Sam was from Hartford, which I thought was pretty cool. But, yeah, so story, fucking stellar. Perfect. I loved it. As far as story, character development, just the characters in general, what they're about, the slight insight in their backstories. I know there's going to be DLC about the characters that expands them more. I can't wait for that. Voice acting, all that, top notch. Perfect. Gameplay, I had a couple of issues. I had a couple freezing issues. I put up a Vine video where Ellie got stuck on the steps. I had to restart the checkpoint. She was running down the steps but wasn't actually moving forward. So I put a Vine video up that was like, I'm running for Game of the Year because, what was that? But I did have a few issues. The loading is pretty horrendous in this game, but once the game loads, like, once you actually boot the game up and it's finished loading, that horrendous load, sometimes it gets to 50% and it goes back to 0. And your character won't necessarily get you caught if you're sneaking around, like whoever's with you, whether it be Tess or Ellie, they won't get you caught, but sometimes they'll get in the way. Like, I'll be up against cover and I'll have like one person's with the room between me and the end of my cover, and like Ellie would run up in front of me and get in front of it, and I'm trying to like sneak by and take someone out. She just blocks me, or force my character to get up, and then he's out of cover, and it just fucks me over. Gameplay wise, this is the one I put this up on Twitter. You guys tried to get me to play this game, and you did it wrong. Now, granted, obviously, there's so much similarities between Tomb Raider and this game, gameplay wise. There's a huge similarity. Hands down, like it plays a lot like each other. The whole like survival aspect, sneaking around, doing what you got to do to survive. You guys did it wrong. You should have said, hey, you like Manhunt, play Last of Us. Last of Us is a really good Manhunt. Hands down. You can't argue with me on that. That's what it is. You're being hunted while you're hunting, and you can take out the people in the most brutal ways possible if you choose to, or if you choose not to. You can get up close, get real nasty with it, or you can stay far away and shoot them. You could run and gun if you wanted to. I wouldn't suggest it. There was actually some points in the game that, mainly when it came to Infected, I could walk by or sneak by everything and not have to fight and just get through. So I like that there was options. I mean, obviously everything's on a set path, so it's not too like troubling. But I did like how they mixed up, you know, fighting human enemies and then infected enemies. So it wasn't like you're playing a zombie game straight through. Because I don't care if they call them infected, they're fucking zombies. Clickers are scary as shit. I remember once I was sneaking and a clicker, I could hear it, but I didn't see it. It was right behind me and it literally grabbed me. I didn't have any shivs and it took me out. That scared the shit out of me. But the one complaint I saw most people say is that the game is repetitive. Now, if you watch my channel, I always give really good scores to repetitive games, and this is a testament as to why. I like games that are repetitive when they're well made, or when they're rewarding for being repetitive. Because to me, in a game like this, repetition isn't there just because they need a filler for like, oh, you need to fight because we need to, you know, waste 20 minutes or a half hour. No. Repetition to me in a game like this is just you perfecting a craft, pretty much. Like, you're perfecting if you're sneaking, or, you know, you're planning something like you throw a can bomb over here and then you got someone in your sights and as soon as that goes off, boom, boom. You know what I mean? You're just perfecting the way that you execute things, and I think that's coming from, like, the fighting game side of me. With practicing, with repetition in games like this, it's essentially like a practice mode until you perfect it. And by the end, you're godlike. You can't be touched. By the end of this game, for those of you who beat the game, that last area you're in, I had no problem wiping everybody out like that. At the end of the game, that wasn't even challenging. The game's not too difficult. Like I said, the gameplay's good. The game itself has its flaws. I don't ever take away from a game being Game of the Year just simply because it's flawed when everything else outweighs it. So like I said, it's got a couple glitches, some bugs, it's got issues with the AI, is kind of dumb. But then sometimes the AI is like really smart, so it's a weird curve. But just everything else about this game outweighs the cons so much. The pros just completely take over. So as of right now, yes, this is my Game of the Year. As of right now, this is my Game of the Year. Barely over Tomb Raider, but this is an amazing game, and if you haven't played it, go play it. I really want to show you guys gameplay, but maybe I'll do a video later, that way people have the option. I really just don't want to play through because everything in this game should be experienced by you, the player. Play this goddamn game. Thank you guys for watching.